Little workout there. Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Everyone catch their breath? My name is Amy Fielding. I'll be your platform assistant for this morning. And a quick reminder, don't forget to silence or turn off your cell phones. And today I get to introduce two of our own. So thank you so much, Brenda, for being here, and Joyce for speaking. Okay, we'll move right into our daily word reading. So the words for today are world peace. Peace creates beauty in the world. An artist creates beauty out of a spectrum of shades and hues, and the diversity of color adds to the depth of the artwork. In that same manner, the differences in the world show the possibility of splendor when combined in the right way. I envision a world in which all people are accepted exactly as they are, and I set an intention to practice and facilitate goodwill towards others. I behold the world around me and find examples of people and culture blending and mixing in magnificent ways. The potential for peaceful interaction and coexistence are endless. Acts of kindness, honesty, and healthy communication paint pictures of harmony. As I choose non-judgment and unconditional positive regard, I create peace in the world. And from Psalm 34:14, depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. Okay, and now we'll move to our Unity Foundation principle. There is only one power and one presence in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. And next, our Unity of Littleton affirmation. We are a vibrant, open-hearted, spiritual center, raising awareness of divine within everyone, welcoming warmly, sharing joyfully, growing spiritually, living fully. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. And if it's your first time, we would especially like to welcome you. We're so glad that everyone has chosen to come here this morning, and we look forward to seeing you again. After the service, everyone is invited to join us for our time of hospitality. We always have some good snacks in the back corner, so take a couple minutes and stay a couple minutes after the service and catch up with each other. And so now we will transition over to our next song.
Actually, I'm going to start it lower and we'll move up as we go. Joy fills every cell in my body, every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Next verse. emotions. Health fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it does. Life fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the whole process. I allow spirit to do what it does. Are we going to sing that first verse again, which is just joy fills every cell in my body? But I really want you to feel it, okay? Just feel that, what it feels like. It's kind of yummy. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow spirit to do what it does.
Okay, announcement time. Today after the service, Judy, one of our new prayer chaplains, will be available to pray with you. She will also be able to perform her Reiki treatments. So you can meet with Judy in the back corner. In the back corner right where the screen is. And our next announcement is regarding the Halloween party. So don't forget, we're having a Halloween party after the service on October 30th. So there's more info coming next Sunday, but get your costumes ready, start searching. For those of you who are interested, there will be another offering of the Unity Basics class in December. As a reminder, this class is required for those of you who want to become members of the church. And Ruth is next up.
I'm nagging. My kids tell me I do it so well. Flower Power fundraiser, it ends on the 15th. So if you have any intention at all to order bulbs for gifts or housewarming or just for your own yard, please do so this week. They come quickly. Again, we get 50% back. Real easy way to put some money into the coffers of Unity. So please share it with your neighbors, and there's papers over there. So thank you.
Reka, next up is you.
Oh yes, we have one more workshop this month, and that is Janet Langmeyer's Living Your Best Life workshop. It is free for any of you who want to attend. You just have to sign up, okay? And so there are flyers on the table. Highly recommend it. Janet's wonderful if you know her. So I think it's going to be a really good time. Again, that's next Saturday here.
Thank you. And I think Joyce will have more info about the speaker for next week. But should we move to the song?
Why don't you talk about next week's speaker?
Okay.
Yeah.
So next week, your preview, Reverend Wanda Bettinghouse will be here next week to speak to us. And that concludes the announcements, so we'll hand it over to Reka.
Okay, so Joyce very kindly supplied me with some information about her talk. Unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of time because I'm teaching my workshop this weekend, so I had to stick with the songs that I had already chosen. So I'm going to let you do your own interpretation of how it fits with the talk, okay? Because I can't find it. Sunshine, slumber warm when night winds blow. May you always love with laughter, for a smile becomes you so. May good fortune find your doorway. May the bluebirds sing your song. May all troubles travel your way. For a smile ain't too long. May your heartaches be forgotten. May no tears be spilled. May old acquaintances find someone to love you as much as I love you. May your heartaches be forgotten, may no tears be spilled, may old acquaintance be remembered and your cup of kindness filled. May you always be a dreamer, may your wildest dreams come true. May you find someone to love you as much as I love you. May you find someone to love as much as I love you.
Thank you so much. Rebecca, that was perfect.
Oh, good.
Just perfect.
Tell us how.
Yes. I'm going to do an announcement and then get into my actual talk. Reverend David, who's been one of our regular speakers, along with Reverend Marilyn, Reverend Wendy, and also Reverend Wanda, sorry. He's got a new job. He's moving to Texas to serve a Unity community in Dallas. So I have a card that I thought it would be nice for us to give to him when he comes on the 23rd to appreciate all his service of being part of our team of speakers. Well, that left a gap on the varsity team. And I've actually had a JV guy hanging out there waiting anytime, and he's awesome. His name is Reverend Patrick Soren. His first Sunday with us will be on November 6th. He will actually do double duty for us in November, just like Reverend Marilyn is in October, because it turns out that Reverend Wendy is really booked in November and December. So don't worry if you don't see her, she's still part of the team. She's just on whatever we'll call it, her little mini sabbatical from here. So that's an update I wanted to make sure you all had. Now to the talk. When I found Unity, February 1986, I cried through the whole service. Maybe some of you do too. Madison, Wisconsin. It was such a life-changing experience. And not too long after I became involved in that congregation, I learned about the 12 Powers of Man, written by Charles Fillmore, an amazing book. If you don't have it, we have it in the library here. I have on the information table the 12 powers and the 12 apostles. Each has an apostle associated with it. Well, being we would go past the 20-minute limit, roughly, that our speakers get, we talked about all of them. I'm going to talk about three. Three that tie into some stories about my life that essentially is like, here's Joyce's oral autobiography right coming up. The first power is that of judgment. It is associated with James. And that's James, who is, there's a couple of them, he is the son of Zebedee. In a book, another good Unity book, called Your Hope of Glory, The Life and Teachings of Jesus, by Elizabeth Sam Turner, she has this to say about that power of judgment. She said, when judgment is divorced from wisdom, then those conclusions are often faulty. They can even be condemning and criticizing. And think about times that's happened to you, where you could tell there was no wisdom coming through that judgment, or even you yourself have done that. But take the wisdom, marry it with the judgment. Now you're bringing spirit into that decision. So judgment is important, yet it is softened. It's bringing in this love of spirit when you have wisdom. As I said, I found that church in 1986, and it was July 1994. My minister called to me as I was just walking out the door of the church. "Hey, Joyce, do you have a minute?" "Well, sure, Roger, what's up?" He says, I have something I want to tell you about." "Oh, okay." He says, "Our church secretary, Lorraine, is retiring next month. I'm going to expand that position. You know, she really was the traditional executive secretary, and I need so much more than that. I need help with marketing. I need help with customer service. In fact, I'll pay you to be at church on Sundays, to do extra customer service." She would never. She just wanted to pray on Sundays and be a congregant. And he said, "I've been praying and praying so that you keep coming up." Wait a minute, you said my name possibly working here at the church, Roger? "Yes. There's nobody else coming up but you." "Really? Okay." See, I never put church secretary on a resume. Anybody here try that? I mean, no, I'm a home mom. I'm a volunteer. I'm a pillar of the community. I don't need a job. Well, maybe I'd like that job. And he said, "I'm not asking you to say yes or no right now. Obviously, you want to talk to your husband and your daughters. And of course, you pray on it." "You bet, Roger. I'll do that." So I went to my husband, my daughters. Well, heck, they were 10 and 13, plenty old enough for me to go back to a day job. And so I came back to church the next Sunday and I said, "Roger, I'll take you up on that offer." Well, I have to say it was a little rocky at first. I knew some computer skills. This is 1994. Let's take us back. Most of you can go back easily there with me, right? 30 years almost. And he taught me. He taught me about what to say and what not to say. And there's office politics even in a church. Maybe you've seen that somewhere. And honestly, it's a good thing he'd been a counselor before he went into the ministry, because I got counseled sometimes as much as I got managed, and in a very loving way. Just a wonderful person. The best manager I ever had, I would say, for many years was my minister. Well, time went on, and now, almost a year later, it was June 1995. Now we get to the next one, which is faith. I can't lose my other power here. Now, in this book, The 12 Powers of Man by Charles Fillmore, Charles Fillmore talks about the whole power of faith. It ties to the disciple Peter, also called Simon, and that word means receptivity. He references one of my favorite verses from the Bible, Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. I'm going to read that again. Faith is the assurance of things that are hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. Can you think of times in your life where you made a big leap of faith? When you went into the ministry, when you moved here from the Midwest, when you fell in love, any of those things. That's a leap of faith. I had a leap of faith in front of me when my husband said to me about the middle of June, "Honey," he says, "I have a job offer." I said, "That's great. What's the job? Is it with some other part of the state government?" Because see, he'd been working for 21 years writing laws, right out of law school with the state legislature there in Madison. "Oh no," he said, "this job would be in Denver." I says, "What? Denver? We'd have to move to Denver? I've never even been to Denver." You know those people that move here because they've always loved Colorado since they were a kid? No, I love Madison, Wisconsin like you can love a lover. I'm not going to leave Madison, Wisconsin. No, even with the winter. Well, I mean, I didn't come that strongly with a husband, but he told me that this national organization, the National Conference of State Legislatures, where he'd been a very active member, was even on their board of directors at that time. Somebody from the staff said, hey, Bruce, there's a job opening. It's perfect for you. It was perfect for my husband. As soon as he described the job, I thought he would be great as a legislative consultant, as a trainer of legislators and staffers. He would travel all over the country, helping the legislators to run better. You know, writing laws is a very technical job. He was good at it, but I knew there was more in my husband than simply writing laws. So, sitting there at church, I'm still working there, of course, just dwelling on this. About 2 or 3 days later, a flyer comes in the mail. Denver's newest Unity community. It had a YOU, and I knew that was important for my daughter, who was 14. It had just a beautiful array of programs. I looked where it was located, Littleton. Oh, well, maybe this is a sign. So my minister comes into the office and I said, Roger, what's this High Country Unity? That's our original name. Tell me about these people. Something about Reverend Doris and Reverend Scott. Oh my gosh, I was just at the conference with those two. They're amazing. Doris Hoskins, Scott Shell. Heck, then I told him about the job. He said, why are you asking? He asked. I said, well, Bruce might take a job in Denver. Well, it'd be so hard to lose you, but that's the church. You have to go to that church. Well, that made me feel a little better. So I certainly went into prayer again. Long, heartfelt talks with the girls. My daughter Ann, with whom I practiced this talk last night, 14 at the time, she said, Mom, I remember that last day. I just cried all through the service. Picture wrenching that 14-year-old out of the bosom of her middle school friends. It wasn't pretty. But hey, it was hard on me. Remember I said I'm a pillar of society? You're wrenching me out of the bosom of Madison, Wisconsin, where I was an elected official. Yes, on the county board. Leader within the League of Women Voters. When I went into the grocery store, at least somebody knew me there. Too many, my kids would say, to get out of that store. I'm going to a town I've never been to and I know no one there. That was hard. It was a big leap of faith. But we went anyway. And I gave my husband my full blessing. I'm not so sure about the 14-year-old, but she did come around. So here I am in here I'm in Denver, sorry. And it was rocky again, kind of like it was at that job. Just getting settled. I cried a lot. Then I had the church at least, but I had this job with the AAA where I worked 5 Sundays out of 8, so I couldn't even go to my beloved church. But I did find my 12-step program. I'll be straightforward there. I'm in Al-Anon, so that's another spiritual family, right? That helped. And about a year after I came here, I found Toastmasters. Wow, that's my tribe, as you can probably tell up here. I love the energy, the camaraderie, the fun, the skills you build in leadership and in communication. Well, sales is what I went into for my day job. And eventually ended up, I'm so glad you're here today, Sam, at the College for Financial Planning. I did sales for 17 years. I wouldn't call sales a calling. Some might. My sister, the college professor, that's a calling. My brother, the research scientist, that's a calling. My husband, helping whole legislators run better, that's a calling. My dairy farmer brother in Australia, that is really a calling. 24/7, right? When I was at the college where Sam was a professor for many, many years, I had a great manager, almost as good, if not a little better than that minister. I was happy. Well, in 2010, this is where zeal comes in. That was kind of the setting. I like to think of zeal as my middle name, but I gotta watch it because sometimes I get carried away. I'll reference that. You know, it's an old-fashioned word. We would say now, oh, you have great energy, you have great enthusiasm. Well, in the 12 Powers of Man, Charles Fillmore describes zeal as the urge behind all things, the impulse to move forward. And even if some of you know, the Strengths Finder, now Clifton Strengths Activator, is number 1 on 34 of my strengths. There's a lot of zeal in that. But, says Fillmore, let your zeal be tempered with wisdom. There's that wisdom again. Because see, without wisdom, you can go off a little off to the side. The other people are like, where are you going? Like, well, come on, it's all right. They go, I don't know. So who does it tie to? Simon the Zealot. Now, maybe some of you know this awesome quote, and this may be paraphrasing slightly, by Charles Fillmore himself, written when he was in his 90s. I fairly sizzle with zeal, energy, enthusiasm, eager to do that which ought to be done by me today. Don't you want to be like that when you're in your 90s? To be sizzling with zeal and enthusiasm? I do. I'm 73, so I think he was about 20 years older than me when he wrote that. Well, I'm humming along in my day job, as I would call Toastmasters was really my fave, but you know, they don't pay you over there. And in 2010, the College for Financial Planning, where Sam and I worked, rolled out social media. So think back to the extent you pay attention to social media. Maybe you were on Facebook back then. It came out in 2004. LinkedIn came out right around that time, Twitter. Well, the marketing department said to management, the college better get on social media. And why was that? Because see, our college wasn't a local college like Metro. No, it served financial planners and wannabe financial planners all over the USA. It gave them coursework toward their certified financial planner designation, the required coursework. It had certificates, like Chartered Retirement Planning Counselor. That's one you taught, I think, Sam, I remember. And there were others like that. So it was virtual. We would send books. I don't know if they still send books, but they would have an iPad. It was very much a virtual education. I'll never forget Brett, my manager, coming into our enrollment team early in January of 10, saying to us, oh, we have social media here, and we're going to educate you on social media, and we need you to chat up social media so that we have likes on our Facebook page and followers on Twitter and members of our LinkedIn group. And we're like, really, Brett? What's in it for us? Salespeople. We were commissioned salespeople. Let me add that. Not all of it, but that was a good chunk of our take-home pay. Then he said, oh, should have led with this. $5, we'll pay you. $5, they call it a spiff if you've ever heard of that in sales. $5 for every Facebook like and every Twitter follow and every LinkedIn group that we get the students and even the potential students to join, follow. I'm like, oh, this could be interesting, it could be fun. I, believe it or not, at 61 years old, 12 years ago, had gotten pretty active on Facebook. Even LinkedIn, Twitter I didn't quite understand, but I figured 2 out of 3. I could talk those up. I don't know about the rest of the team, I never paid any attention to what they did. But I was told month after month after month, I was the best, official term here, chatter-upper of social media. With my students would join, they would follow, they would like. Wow, that's cool. To the point that one day in March of 2010, again, same year, my manager came to my office. No, actually, he asked me to come to his office. I have an idea for you, he said. Since you are obviously so good at getting our students engaged with our social media, have you ever thought of helping other people, especially in your baby boomer generation, to understand social media like you do? Me? 61 years old? I could do that? I mean, I probably even said something like that to him. He goes, yeah, you'd be great. You know what, Joyce? He said, when you talk about social media, your voice changes. You talk about all that financial planning education, and then you talk about social media, and just you're so happy. I says, really? Yeah, he said, I'm not asking you to resign and go off and start your business. No, I'm just giving you an idea. I'm like, okay, Brad. And just like when my minister came to me those years ago, and I didn't reject that opportunity out of hand, right? I looked at it. That's what I did with Brett. I mean, if you had opportunities come to you that you did reject out of hand, maybe later thought, oops, could have done that differently. Or maybe you've taken most of those, all of those opportunities. I've certainly done both. So I didn't even have to pray this time. It was so clear. Oh, I was happy. I could maybe have a calling. I worked there 3 more years. I was, let's reframe it, only 61. And when you're 61, you still have a few more years left for to get ready for Social Security, and I was making the best money I ever made. Oh, trust me, I got busy reading books and going to classes and dragging my friends from Toastmasters to some Starbucks to see if I could help them with their LinkedIn. And usually I could, and they want to pay me. I said, no, no, no. This is my self-enforced internship. I mean, I didn't call it that, but now I feel like that's what it was. And to this day, when I think of Brett asking me that question, I like to picture like the skies, the clouds parting and the angels singing, and Brett just channeling himself through God that day. It was the second most important day of my life after the day my husband proposed to me, I would say. Wow. I still, 9.5 years later, am helping, well, I should say I retired in 13, into this business of being a boomer social media tutor, that's my name, mostly with people who are baby boomers. I'd say roughly 50, 55 and up, so some of the older Gen Xers. They are business people. I help them with their LinkedIn primarily, with how their LinkedIn looks and how they use LinkedIn. About 25% are job seekers, 75% business owners. And lately, I've been doing a little pro bono work, a little volunteer work. Recently even gave a lecture through Zoom to students at Howard University. That was quite an honorable thing to do in DC, not through Zoom, I didn't go there. Well, I offered these students I would help them. So a couple days after I spoke, a student and I were on Zoom together. All she had on her profile was that she was a student at Howard University, 17. I think she's like 18 or 19, she's a freshman. I don't know what to say. So I queried her about what she did in high school. You're not going to end up at Howard where they accept 32 applicants out of 100 unless you really have done well in high school. So I drew that out of her. By the time we were done, she had a pretty decent profile. And at the end, she looked at me and she said, "You are doing God's work." Okay, they don't tell you that when you're in sales. God's work is what I'm doing now as my calling. I'm so grateful that I said yes to my minister, that I said yes to coming here to Denver, that I said yes to a calling I never would have imagined. Well, I didn't even invent social media until the 2000s. So I encourage you, as you go forward in this day and this week and month and year and the rest of your life, to be on the lookout for opportunities, no matter how old we are, how young we are, whatever our life situation is, there will always be opportunities that come our way. Use your judgment with your zeal, with your wisdom. Have faith when you make that decision and put all that zeal into it, but be sure to bring wisdom back into it. And I bless you all. Charles Fillmore would really be excited about what's your next adventure. Let's go to the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not in temptation, and deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Let's settle in into our seats. Get comfortable. Let's take a couple breaths to settle us further. And as we reflect on these concepts I've talked about today, especially about wisdom. Wisdom being really spirit. As we look at our choices, at our opportunities, small and large, how do we bring our judgment, married with our wisdom, to those decisions? Do we turn to others more than to ourselves? I think one of the beauties of aging is that we're less concerned about what others have to think, our family, other loved ones, than what we know is really true for us. What's the highest and best calling for us? We consult with our spirit, not just with our ego, because spirit is always there to guide us, to nudge us, to give us the courage, whatever that decision facing us might be. And take the time you need. Then you have this adventure. Again, small or large. Don't start second guessing yourself, see if it will work. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But without that underpinning of faith, that rock that Peter the Simon was, that's what we need to rely on. Believing in something not here can come to pass. Think of the energy it can take. You don't have to go off the charts. You simply need to light that fire under you, to activate yourself. When you really believe in something, it will come naturally. All that zeal, tempered with wisdom, tempered with spirit. But wherever you go and whatever you're doing, spirit is always at the foundation. That's one of the reasons I love unity, but I love 12 steps. Always grounding ourselves in spirit. It's our deepest understanding. Let's take a minute or two now to be with ourselves, with spirit, and illuminate, reflect on what we've heard today. So now let's come back to present time and be grateful. Be grateful for God, for spirit within. Be grateful for each other, our spiritual community here, and all the other communities we have in our lives, for our health, for our intellect, most especially for our love. Because love is always God working wherever we may be. Bless you all.
Oh God, your light shine within us. May we know you're not separate from us. May we feel you in our hearts. Let your will come true. Let us love like you. Thanks for your forgiveness. May we forgive ourselves and others too. Thank you for guiding our steps while we're here. May we walk in love, not fear. May we listen, your message is clear. The kingdom of heaven is here. The kingdom of heaven is here. The kingdom of heaven is here.
This is our time of offering, a time to share our abundance. We give in the knowledge and understanding that God's abundance is unlimited. Your gifts go out to bless others and the mission of our church. And you are richly blessed as well, because that is the law of circulation. As we give, so we receive. If you are joining us online, you can make your donation through our webpage on the contact page at unitylittleton.org. And I now invite you to take your gifts in your hands as we bless it. Our blessing, divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful. Thank you, God. Unity wholeheartedly believes in tithing, so this week our tithe goes to Unity's South Central region.
As usual, as the speaker was talking, my guidance woke up and said, "Oh, sorry, were you doing something? Were you looking for a song? Here you go." Fortunately, it's one I know. I think it fits with the talk, that wonderful talk. Thank you so much, Joyce. Oddly enough, it's by a band called Green Day. I'm sure you never thought you'd hear a Green Day song in church. Well, here we go. Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life. your light.
From Green Day to the Muppets to jazz to
I know.
standards.
We never know where we're going to go.
We never
right?
know what we're going to get. We are grateful for the gift and giver, and know that in the giving we place ourselves in the divine flow of our own good. Thank you, God. And now it's to the point where we'll stand up and make our circle. As we prepare to sing the peace song, you're invited to extend your hands out in front of you, palms up, to offer the universe and each other an energy of peace and love. Before we begin singing, let's take a deep breath together and allow the feelings of peace to fill our minds and bodies. Our heart rate becomes calm, and we know in this moment all is well. As we sing the peace song, we know that just as God declared, "Let there be light," we are declaring peace to be so.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And please join in the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And finally, for this week, tell me, how are you going out into the day and the rest of this week?
It's my light, mine. I'm gonna let it shine. It's my light, mine. I'm gonna let it shine. It's my light, mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.